Hey you guys, if you haven't already seen the video or read the headlines, there's two major incidents that have sparked some intense conversation. One is in Jacksonville, Florida, and the other one is in Cincinnati, Ohio. Both incidents are disturbing, violent, and hard to watch. But more than that, they've triggered conversations around race, justice, and public behavior. Today, I want to talk about what happened and, more importantly, what we should learn from both. I personally like solutions. Okay, so now in Jacksonville, a 22-year-old black man named William McNeil Jr. was pulled over by a police officer in a traffic stop due to his headlight, and he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. This situation escalated when he refused to exit the vehicle, right? And then one of the officers broke his window, pulled him out, and began punching him repeatedly. I think he punched him while he was in the vehicle. That's what I saw in the clip. Body cam footage was released, and while the officer claimed he reached for a knife, the video doesn't clearly support that at all. Now, McNeil, which is the young man, suffered several injuries, including a concussion and a broken tooth. Some people say this was racially charged, that the force was excessive, and others argue that he should have just complied. Then what we have happened in downtown Cincinnati, a violent street fighting involving a group of people. At around 3 a.m., a man was chased, knocked down to the ground, and beaten by multiple people. A woman tried to intervene and was knocked unconscious. Meanwhile, a crowd of people just stood by, many filming instead of helping. The footage is brutal. I decided not to play it, the brutal moments, because, I mean, come on. And again, people are asking if this was racially motivated, as a white couple was assaulted by a group of black individuals, okay? So honestly, both of these incidents are disgusting and very unsettling. I do not think this should be turned into a race war. Wrong is wrong, no matter who is doing it. We cannot live in a society where we only get outraged depending on who the offenders is and who the victims is. That is called selective outrage, and it's not justice, it's hypocrisy, and it leads to double standards. Having that mindset, it never resolves anything. It repeats the same ignorance, and people continue to get hurt. In Jacksonville, should William McNeel have complied? Yes. Whether or not the stop felt unjust to him, there is a better way to handle it. Comply and then take actions later. For example, if a police officer pull you over and you believe it's unfair, be respectful, stay calm, and then talk to your parents and get you a lawyer. But you do not escalate the situation. And at the same time, excessive force is always wrong. You can't justify beating someone when they aren't even actively threatening you. If you are a cop, you're trained to de-escalate, not destroy. I believe that young black man honestly think police are out to harm him. I think we should have a more honest conversation about this. Now, I want to ask you guys, do you genuinely believe that law enforcement are out to harm you, not protect? In my world, that is not true, but I will never take away from any of you guys' experiences. You are not going to always agree with me, and that is okay. I have people that I highly respect, and I don't agree with everything they say, and vice versa. You are allowed to disagree and not have a falling out about it. I appreciate other people's perspective. It gives me the opportunity to learn something differently. I have law enforcement in my family, and I personally have a great relationship with officers and authority in general. But I am more than open to hear your experience. But back to what I was saying, what happened in Cincinnati is appalling. There's no excuse. I don't care what the verbal altercation was about. It's wrong to gang up on people in the streets, beat them unconscious, and film it like it's entertainment. Like, no. Like, what is happening? Also, if we're going to share videos like this, show the entire context. Like, what led up to the fight? Who said what? Not to justify the violence, but to understand the full picture. Just like we demand the full body cam footage in police encounters, the same standard should apply here. Okay, so fairness goes both ways is what I'm trying to say. So let's be better. Here's what I believe. We must condemn evil no matter who commits it. We must respect authority even if we disagree in the moment. We must demand full context, not emotional clips. We must not film violence for entertainment. We call the police. We ask others for help. We can attempt to de-escalate. We must not defend wrong just because it comes from our side. This is about right versus wrong. Don't blur those lines. We don't win when we excuse injustice. We lose as a civil society. Okay, if you guys agree, let me know in the comments. And if you disagree, let's talk about it respectfully. Thank you for joining me. Please consider subscribing and like this video. I'll see you later.